Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to be breaking down Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev. But before we get into that main event of this upcoming weekend, I want to let you know I'm going to be breaking down every single UFC card for the rest of the year, for the rest of the time I'm making videos, and I would appreciate it so much if you listen, liked, and subscribe to this channel as it continues to grow. This is what I love to do. I love talking about the UFC. Sometimes I get them dead wrong, but I'll promise you one thing. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to break down all the fights to the best of my ability, and we're going to have a fucking fun time doing it. So let's get right into it. The first guy I want to break down is Manel Kape. He is 5-1 in the UFC. He has had 7 bouts canceled since entering the UFC, which is the highest number I could find active in the UFC so far. So he's had a lot of injury issues, as well as his opponents have also had injury issues. And this is yet another bout where he was planning to fight someone else, and someone else had to step in due to injury. He was supposed to fight Brandon Royval, and unfortunately, due to an injury, he ended up having to fight Asu instead. Manel Kape's nickname is Starboy, and it's absolutely accurate. This guy is lightning with the hands. He's lightning in a bottle. If you blink, you wouldn't see the 3 strikes he just threw. He is 5'4" in the flyweight division, and he had his first MMA fight when he was only 14 years of age. He was already in Cage Warriors at the age of 17 years old. He is the lightest, fastest on the feet for the flyweight division, and it's not even close. There's a reason he's ranked number 6 in the division, and it's because he's extremely dangerous, extremely powerful, and only getting better by the second. His first loss in the UFC came to Makavev, ranked 12th in the rankings now, so he's still way below him even after defeating him, which is crazy. He did end up losing that bout by unanimous decision, so it wasn't a close victory, it wasn't one that he was robbed. He genuinely lost that fight through and through. It seemed that Muhammad understood the assignment, which was to slow down Kape's hands, to start slowly, be decisive in avoiding his flurries early, and then when you cause the action to slow down, when you start to get in a little bit of a flow state, all of a sudden he started to take over. Kape didn't have any impactful moments, although he was still landing the harder strikes in my opinion. And in the end, we saw him get handed his first UFC loss. But I think in the end, that's actually a good thing. I believe he will surely use this fight, watch the film, use it as a learning opportunity to even out some of the parts of his games that still need sharpening, as he is continuing still to ascend in his UFC career. And he's sure not to take anyone lightly, knowing that he lost to an unranked fighter at the time. In comes Asu Almabayev, currently ranked number 8 in the UFC, also standing at 5'4", fighting out of Kazakhstan. He is 21-2 in his MMA career. He has been training wrestling since the age of 5 years old. He is a BBJ champion in Kazakhstan and Asia alike. Not only does he love this sport, he has dedicated his entire life to it. Not the last 5 years, not the last 10 years. His entire life of Asu has been dedicated to this opportunity. He has not lost a fight since 2017. His first opponent in the UFC showed up overweight. He decided to still go through with the fight and got a rear naked choke in a very impressive victory against CJ Vergara. His third and fourth bouts in the UFC were both unanimous decisions. Extremely impressive yet again. Again, due to Royval's injury, Asu Alma gets the opportunity of a lifetime to fight Manel Kape, and if he wins this fight, and I say if because he is certainly not favored to do so at plus 200, this would be the superstardom, the moment his entire life has led up to. Safe to say neither man is going to take this position for granted. Asu has landed 16 takedowns in 3 UFC fights. This fight will simply come down to which man is able to impose each other's will. Kape is going to want to keep the fight on the feet. Kape is going to want to utilize the fact he's going to get ahead on the judges' scorecard by being the better fighter, by being on the front foot, by landing the most memorable strikes, and being extremely active as he always is. Asu, on the other hand, is going to want to keep the fight on the ground. The fans are going to be booing. They're going to be upset at him trying to limit Kape's ability, but that is his recipe to success in this bout. Now, unfortunately for Asu, Kape happens to be extremely aware that most people want to take him down, as he is such an amazing perennial level striker. So he has amazing takedown defense. His quickness in his feet doesn't just translate to his striking. A lot of being able to defend a takedown is being able to have the mental capacity to know it's coming, as well as the quickness to be able to shove it away. And Kape has that in spades. We've seen time over time over time, in the times we've seen him in the UFC, him be able to deal with takedown attempts with relative ease. Now, I don't think he's fought a wrestler as good as Asu Almabayev, but nonetheless, let's make the assumption that Kape is able to handle those takedowns, at least thwart off a few of them, and in a 5-round main event, more than likely get his hand raised. I wanted to come on here, have a hot take, and say that Asu is going to have the moment of his life and get his hand raised in this fight. And I do believe that is possible, maybe even more likely than the plus 200 suggest. I have to give the likelihood that Manel Kape gets back on track. He gets to potentially, with a very, very impactful performance, put himself in the conversation to go after that UFC belt. Already being ranked number 6, with the amazing ability he has, with the promotability he has, I believe that he could be looking at a UFC title fight in his near future, barring an amazing performance, which is why this is so important for his UFC career. Who do you guys believe is going to win this fight? How do you think Kape is going to get it done? Do you believe he could get a TKO before the fight is done and it doesn't reach decision? Do you believe Asu could shock the world? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm so excited to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please subscribe for more, as I can promise you it will continue to keep coming. This has been yet another episode of the Renee Report, and I'm out. Peace!